Okay, first of all, keep in mind that you always want to put a light coat of water. Now, again, folks, these are studies, so don't think we're not going to do an entire painting. We're just going to do an upper sky area. This is a blending technique, and you'll hear me a lot often on our tapes and in the book and in classes saying use big X's or crisscross strokes. And I tell you, it's important that you get that nailed down. Now, the next thing you want to do after you put your water on there, and notice it's not dripping, it's just a light coating of water. All that does is help buy you just a little blending time. Now, while that's still wet, this is the key right here. Let's get up here. You take your gesso, and you put a nice liberal coat of gesso on. Now, notice what I'm doing here. There's no particular way to put it on at this stage. But you go ahead and you just get it on there. Here's where most of you go wrong. You get the gesso on, but then you stretch it. Because it's wet, see, your brush slides easily. What most of you do is you take this gesso you have here, and you come across and you stretch it. So what happens is, as you go across, you can't see it, but the water is weakening the pigment of the gesso. So when you put your color on, that's what causes the splotchy look in your canvases that so many of you call or write me about and say, I can't get my sky to blend. Well, I know what happens because I see it happen in every workshop I ever teach all over the country. What you have to do, folks, don't be skimpy. After you put a little gesso on, work it in. Notice how I'm making sure it's evenly distributed. I'm not stretching it. I reload. Go a little bit further. See, I'm not going to stretch this. We just get out a habit sometimes of trying to, we think a little gesso is going to cover and make the whole thing. Now, just knowing how to do good background is going to save every one of you a lot of headaches. See how many times I'm reloading, making sure I got a nice even distribution of gesso, going back and blending in, making sure that all the canvas is very evenly covered. See, even here at the end, I'm not going to stretch. See, I've seen everyone do this, or almost everyone. They get to the end and they stretch it. Well, I'm not going to stretch that because I know that it's not going to have the same pigmentation and the same opaqueness. So now to the end, see? Even here, I'm not going to stretch that up. I'm going to reload. All right, now I've got a nice even distribution of gesso. Now, we want to keep that wet. One of the tricks to good blending is keeping it wet. So that's why one of the tricks, little techniques, is mister bottle. You can be back at a distance, lightly mist it, and only mist when you're trying to blend large areas or large bodies like the sky or water or whatever. And every time you mist, be sure you go back and work the water back into the paint so it doesn't leave any little spots and it makes an even creaminess, okay? You can really feel the difference. It goes on real smooth. Feels good. Now I go back, see, with these nice big X strokes. And now we're going to add the color. All we're doing is going to blend a real smooth, pretty background sky, and that's it. First thing we're going to do now is take orange. Now you can use any color, of course. Remember, this is just studies, so we're not going to go into all the different colors you can use. But for this case, I'm just going to take orange. Now see, what I do here is take the orange and I put it on, and I make sure that it's well distributed all the way across. There's no big blobs of color. Then I take my brush and I go back to these X's like this. See these X's? And I work my way across. And I work my way up until that has evenly, it's just even all the way across pretty much. And then it fades out. See where it just disappears? Now you're not ready to smooth this out yet, so don't panic on me. You want to see brush movement. It's the brush marks that we want to get out. Now, let me show you something else. Say you're piddling around here and I'm talking right now and it's drying, and every second that goes by means a little it's drying. That's where the mister bottle comes in handy, but you have to remember something. When you mist, you can't leave it that way. You have to work the paint back into the water, okay, or the water back into the paint. So every time you mist, be sure you go back and do a complete rework. It's real easy. But I'll tell you what, folks, I've done big murals and large paintings where I can blend for an hour if I just keep misting. Now you take your brush and you quickly rinse it out. Now we do these things in all of our paintings, but I've never done a technique tape where you just get specific things down, and this is going to really help you. Now see, I don't really clean it that good, I just get the excess paint out. Now we take, whatever color, let's start with blue and a little burnt sienna to create sort of a gray tone. Now we put a strip of this across the top. I'm going to reload. Now this is called double loading. I got two colors, sienna and blue. And I work this across the top, just like we did the orange across the bottom. Make sure, see, don't start blending down. That's where a lot of people make their mistake. Go across first. Get your colors blended. Make sure it's all blended out of your brush. Then you go back to the big X's now. Watch what we do. And you gradually work your way down. Don't get in a hurry to get down there.